4 years in a prison cell for a single drop of oil. A $5,000 federal fine for carrying a designer knockoff bag. A silent, deadly blood clot forming in your leg while you sit in seat 14B. The system is rigged against you, and the industry is banking on your silence. While airlines quietly pocket your potential $1,500 compensation checks, you are walking into a legal and financial minefield. Stop. You have 12 rules to navigate this landscape and come out on top. Rule 1 of 12. Your $60 portable charger could cost you a $1,500 non-refundable flight. The math is brutal, and the security agents don't care about your deadlines. Liam, a 28-year-old sales representative, was at Dallas-Fort Worth International, DFW, heading to a massive tech conference. He had a 30,000 milliamp hour power bank in his carry-on, fully charged and ready. At the security checkpoint, the officer pulled the device out. The factory label was worn and scratched. No visible watt-hour rating was legible. Liam was told the device could not fly. He had two choices: throw his expensive tech in the trash or miss his flight. The airline won't tell you this, but they rely on your ignorance of the 100 watt-hour rule. Check the small print on your gear right now. The FAA and most international carriers strictly limit lithium-ion batteries to 100 watt-hours per device. Here is the formula the pros use. Take the milliamp hours, multiply by the voltage, and divide by 1,000. A 20,000 milliamp hour battery at 3.7 volts is exactly 74 watt-hours. You are safe. But once you hit 27,000 milliamp hours, you are dancing on the edge of permanent confiscation. Liam ended up tossing his charger into a bin just to make his gate. It was a painful loss. Reality check. Agents don't scan every single battery, but a blurry or missing label is an automatic failure during a random check. Only carry chargers with clear, factory-printed ratings. They profit from your mistakes. You lose your gear. You just saved yourself a headache at security. But a lost charger is nothing compared to the luggage disaster waiting for you at the gate. Rule 2 of 12. Check your smart luggage battery before you even pull into the airport driveway. Emma, a 45-year-old librarian from Minneapolis, found this out the hard way at MSP. She stood at the gate with a high-tech 22-inch suitcase that featured a built-in charging port. The gate agent looked at the bag, then back at Emma with a practiced look of disapproval. "Is that battery removable?" Emma shook her head. She didn't know it was an issue. "It's built into the frame," she explained. Stop. This is where they trap you. The airline won't warn you about this until you are at the boarding door and the plane is fueling up. FAA regulations are absolute. If a lithium-ion battery cannot be removed, that bag is grounded. It cannot go in the overhead bin because of fire risks, and it certainly cannot go in the cargo hold, where a fire would be undetectable. They are banking on your ignorance. Here is the fix. Only buy smart luggage with a modular pop-out power bank. If yours is permanent, it is a liability. Emma had to scramble to move her clothes into a flimsy plastic bin provided by the airline, while her expensive suitcase was wheeled away to be destroyed. Cheap seat, expensive mistake. You just save your luggage from the landfill. But a dead bag is nothing compared to the legal nightmare of Rule 3 and the hidden risks of carrying camera gear. Rule 3 of 12. Noah stood at the security checkpoint in Milan, Italy, MXP, watching his camera bag disappear into the X-ray tunnel. He wasn't worried. He was a 31-year-old freelance photographer on his way to a destination wedding. Then, the belt stopped moving. A red light flashed on the monitor.
The officer pointed at a small, coiled wire inside his kit. It was a 5-cent heating coil for a lens defogger. But to the guard, that metal looked like illegal electronic paraphernalia, or a component for something far more sinister. Security surrounded him. They didn't see an artist. They saw a potential threat. The system is rigged. 1 coil, 5 years of questions. Most travelers assume if an item is legal to buy on a major website, it is legal to carry across borders. That is a dangerous lie. Some countries have incredibly strict laws regarding raw electronic components, often labeling them as prohibited surveillance tools or sabotage gear. To stay safe, always carry the manufacturer documentation for every piece of specialized gear. If questioned, explain the function calmly and show the manual. Don't let them guess what your equipment does. They are banking on your ignorance. Knowledge is your only shield in a foreign terminal. Noah spent 6 hours in a windowless room before he was cleared to leave. He missed his connection. He lost the contract for the wedding. While agents usually release you once they realize it's just a heating wire, the delay can ruin your professional reputation. Stay informed. But a piece of wire is nothing compared to the legal trap of carrying a simple writing tool that looks a bit too tactical. Rule 4 of 12. Have you ever wondered why a simple ballpoint pen could land you in a windowless room with security? It looks like a pen and it writes like a pen. But to the TSA, it is a striking weapon. Sophia, a 25-year-old student from Prague, found this out the hard way at PRG. She had a tactical pen for her own personal safety. To her, it was a tool for taking notes. To the agents, it was a weapon designed for combat. This is where they get you. Brands claim these pens are TSA friendly, but that is a marketing lie designed to move product. Sophia watched her $50 reinforced pen get tossed into the trash like common refuse. It is frustrating, but the system hates anything with the word tactical attached to it. Stop. Here is the fix. If your pen has a glass breaker tip or a serrated edge, leave it at home. Instead, buy a stainless steel Zebra F701. It is heavy, professional, and looks completely normal. If you are flagged, do not argue. Just say, "I understand, please dispose of it." Arguing will only lead to a secondary search. Sophia stayed calm and made her flight. But she learned that security looks for visual intent. If it looks like a weapon, it is one. But a lost pen is a minor cost compared to the legal disaster of Rule 5 and your prescription medications. Rule 5 of 12. 60% of people traveling with prescriptions risk a felony charge without even knowing it. Lucas, a 52-year-old lawyer from Istanbul, found this out the hard way at IST. To save space in his carry-on, Lucas dumped his loose heart medication pills into a single Ziploc bag. He thought he was being efficient. At the security checkpoint, a drug-sniffing dog flagged his bag immediately. Lucas was escorted to a private room for questioning. Panic set in as guards demanded to know what the unlabeled pills were. He faced a 5-hour delay and a terrifying legal inquiry. They hope you don't know the rules because it gives them a reason to detain you.
Always keep your medication in its original pharmacy container with your name and the doctor's name clearly printed on the label. If you use a pill organizer, carry a digital photo or a paper copy of your official prescription. The TSA and most global agencies usually allow liquid medications even if they exceed the 3.4-ounce limit, but you must declare them. While agents often overlook basic vitamins, controlled substances are a different game.
Lucas cleared the check eventually, but he missed his flight to London. You just saved yourself a trip to a foreign jail. But that is nothing compared to the $600 you lose when Rule 6 and the CBD catastrophe hits your itinerary. Rule 6 of 12. Throw your CBD oil in the trash before you fly to Tokyo or Dubai. Mia, a 39-year-old architect from Orlando, was heading to a major project meeting in Japan. Standing in the terminal at MCO, she felt fully prepared. She packed her THC-free wellness oil to handle her intense flight anxiety. It is legal in Florida. It is legal in the United States. But the global system is not on your side. In countries like Japan or the UAE, that tiny bottle is legally identical to a brick of illicit narcotics. The airline won't tell you this. They are banking on your ignorance. Mia didn't realize that many American THC-free products actually contain trace amounts that trigger ultra-sensitive foreign lab tests. One single drop can lead to a mandatory 4-year prison sentence in some jurisdictions. Stop. Never assume your wellness routine is global. Use the IATA Travel Center database to check specific local drug laws before you even begin packing your bags. Most travelers think a U.S. label protects them. It does not. Mia luckily realized the risk and tossed the bottle in the airport restroom at the last minute. She stayed safe. Your freedom is worth more than a supplement, but your wallet is still at risk when Rule 7 and the counterfeit crackdown begins. Rule 7 of 12. Benjamin, a 58-year-old engineer from Paris, walked through CDG with a designer bag he bought for $50 at a street market. It looked perfect to the untrained eye, but when he approached customs, his deal became a nightmare. French customs officers have eyes like hawks. They identified the counterfeit instantly. In many parts of Europe, carrying knockoffs is a federal crime because it is viewed as funding organized crime. They seized the bag and handed Benjamin a $5,000 fine on the spot. He sat in a cold room for 3 hours, realizing his souvenir was a legal trap. The airline won't tell you this because they want you focused on your seat upgrades, not the law. The fix is simple. Avoid fake logos. Stick to unbranded gear if you want to save money. Customs does not just hunt for drugs, they hunt for intellectual property theft too. Benjamin was the unlucky 1% that day. Understand this, crackdowns are rare, but the risk is devastating when they happen. Benjamin left the airport with no bag and a shattered vacation budget. Think a $5,000 fine is bad? Wait until you see the legal ways airlines drain your health in Rule 8 and the surveillance gear trap. Rule 8 of 12. Did you know that the cool spy pen in your pocket could land you in a foreign jail for espionage? Evelyn, a 33-year-old data scientist, was walking through Oslo, OSL, when a security officer noticed something strange about her luggage. It wasn't just a pen. It was a high-tech recording device Evelyn bought online for her own personal security. The panic set in as the agent explained that, in Norway,
Certain disguised recording devices are classified as illegal surveillance gear. Evelyn wasn't a spy, but the law doesn't care about your intentions when it comes to privacy. The system is rigged to catch accidental spies. Here is the fix. Before you pack any gadget that looks like one thing but does another, like a clock with a hidden camera or a USB drive recorder, check the local privacy laws. If a device is designed for covert recording, leave it at home. If questioned, say, "I use this for personal notes and was unaware of specific local restrictions." Often, they will simply confiscate the item if you are polite. Evelyn lost her gadget, but she saved herself a $2,500 fine by staying calm. Smart move. But a spy pen won't help you when the airline tries to steal your favorite luxury perfume in Rule 9. Rule 9 of 12. Did you know that security checkpoints confiscate over 10 million pounds of prohibited items every single year? A huge portion of that is perfectly safe liquids. Oliver, a 41-year-old designer, thought he was ahead of the game. He heard the news. The 3.4-ounce rule is finally dying. He arrived at Dublin, DUB, with a 5-ounce bottle of luxury cologne. He was confident because the news said the new C3 scanners at the airport could handle it. But the airline won't tell you this. Not every security lane is upgraded yet.
The agent grabbed his bottle without even looking at the expensive brand name. "Over the limit," the guard barked.
Oliver tried to explain the new rules, but the agent just pointed at the trash bin, already filled with expensive liquids. They are banking on your ignorance of the slow rollout of tech. Here is the fix. Keep your expensive items in travel sizes until every single airport on your specific route confirms the upgrade. Stick to the 3.4-ounce limit, or prepare to lose your property. Don't be a victim. You just saved your favorite scent. But that is nothing compared to the physical danger of sitting too long in Rule 10. Rule 10 of 12. Stand up and walk every 2 hours during your flight, or you risk a genuine medical emergency. Elijah, a 47-year-old accountant from Philadelphia, learned this at PHL while preparing for a 10-hour haul across the Atlantic. He figured the middle seat was just a minor annoyance he could power through with a few movies.
But your body views it differently. Sitting too long turns your legs into a hazard zone for deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. The airline won't tell you this, but stagnant blood can form clots that travel straight to your lungs. This is where they screw you, because it is easier for the crew if you stay buckled and silent for the whole flight. Elijah felt a dull ache in his calf halfway through the flight, assuming it was just a cramp from the cramped quarters. He was wrong. Stop and listen. Wear compression socks and drink 8 ounces of water every hour to keep your blood moving. Elijah barely made it to his meeting before needing medical attention. Leg room is not just a luxury. It is a health requirement. Subscribe to Beat the System. The DVT risk is terrifying, but nothing compared to the $1,500 you lose when Rule 11 and the overbooking payday hits you. Rule 11 of 12. Isabella stood at the departure gate in Phoenix, PHX, waiting for a flight that was clearly overbooked. The gate agent made a frantic announcement. They needed volunteers to give up their seats. They offered her a $200 travel voucher. Stop. Most people take the voucher and run, thinking they got a deal. Don't be that traveler.
They are banking on your ignorance of federal compensation rules. If you are bumped involuntarily because the airline sold too many tickets, federal rules often require them to pay you in cash, not just vouchers. Depending on the length of the delay to your final destination, you could be entitled to 400% of your one-way fare, capped at $1,550. That voucher they offered? It likely has dozens of blackout dates and hidden rules. Isabella politely declined the voucher and asked for a check.
The airline won't tell you this, but if they can't get you to your destination within a specific window, you have earned that payout. Reality check. This only applies to overbooked flights where you are forced off. Knowing the rules turned Isabella's bad morning into a $1,300 win. Cash is always better than a restricted coupon. You just saved your wallet, but money won't help you when the carry-on measurement war begins in Rule 12. Rule 12 of 12. Do you trust the dimensions printed on your boarding pass? William, a 63-year-old real estate agent, didn't think twice about his reliable carry-on when he arrived at the bustling terminal in Atlanta, ATL. He had measured his bag at home, exactly 22 by 14 by 9 inches. But at the gate, the agent pointed to the metal sizer with a look of pure skepticism. William stepped up to prove him wrong. He pushed, he shoved. The bag stuck halfway. The airline won't tell you this, but those metal bins are often an inch smaller than the official rules allow to account for the thickness of the metal. They're banking on your ignorance. William felt the heat rise in his face as the line behind him began to groan with frustration. The agent demanded a $75 gate check fee. Stop. Here is the fix. Most sizers account for the frame, but they don't account for fluff or overstuffed pockets. Always use a soft-sided bag if you are close to the limit. Hard shells are unforgiving and will fail the sizer test every time. If you are caught, ask to reposition the bag wheels first or upside down. Often, the top of the sizer is slightly wider than the base. William eventually squeezed his bag in by removing his heavy coat and wearing it. It worked. Reality check. Agents have the final word, but being prepared with a squishable bag wins the day. If you don't know these rules, the airport will take your money every single time. Stop overpaying today. Subscribe, and let's beat the system together.